Coming at you live from all over Ohio. A Cleveland Browns podcast full of laughs, rants, fun, and stats. A place where all Browns fans' voices are welcome and heard. A show that aims to inform and entertain you. With your hosts, Jacob, Nick, and Ed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Barking Browns Show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a special Friday night episode of the Barking Brown Show. I am your host, Jacob at Roachism13, and I am joined by Mr. Ed in Columbus while Nick is away at the Guardians game. Whew. It has been a roller coaster of a week, Mr. Ed. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I always say I love me some me. I do love drama. This is not exactly the kind of drama that I like, but unfortunately, it seems like the Cleveland Browns are always in the firestorm of such drama. So you know what? As Browns fans, and this is what we do. We want to get out the information. We love our listeners, and we're going to keep going. And sometimes we run into these kinds of things, and we'll address them. We'll have some fun, and we're going to have some fun tonight as well. So let's go.
I called this emergency podcast, so to speak, because it was just like I needed therapy. I needed to really just discuss it, right? I'm sorry. I saw the comment.
You know what? This is my fifth Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yes, I'm putting in a full work week.
That is pretty great. That's pretty impressive. I can't do that. So, but I called this because I was like, we need to work through these things. I need to speak on these things, and just what's going on in my mind, and just like, I don't know, man, just like try to have a good time. If anybody wants to speak their mind in the comments, I will be happy to throw it up here. If you're working through some stuff when it comes to our Browns, more than happily to throw it in there and we will work on it. But at first, I would like to announce that at the end of this show, we will be giving away a Cleveland Browns hat to the winner. You must be following the channel. You don't have to be subscribed. You must be following the channel to enter. You don't have to be listening right now. So if you're following, you may get lucky. But if you subscribe to the channel, you will get a second entry into the giveaway, so that when we give it later at the end of the show, you just have twice as many opportunities to enter. Oh, wait, hold on. Jeff's got something to say.
I can't read that, but I'm glad he's feeling better.
Yeah, it just that was a very vulgar word. Oh my goodness!
Never heard
such better. Guys, I want to talk about just the appeal situation, and kind of like almost like a little bit embarrassed about how I personally reacted. Not that I didn't that I did it publicly or online or anything, but I just want to kind of talk through what I felt about it. Maybe you guys can talk about through what you felt about it. I know Ed talked a little bit about it on Down with the Browns last night, but if Ed has any more new thoughts since his last podcast appearance, he can share.
I like to talk, Jacob, so I'll probably say something. So yeah, but the floor is all yours. The floor is all Jacob Roach's. Jacob, tell us how you feel. Tell us how you went going through this. Everybody wants to know, because you are the great Jacob Roach.
That heals my broken heart, right? I appreciate. So this is where I come to, and I put this disclaimer at. There will be Break Ed news, I guess. They're asking for Break Ed news. Can you come up with Break Ed news in like 5 minutes or something?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So anyway, we're just having a good time tonight. So I want to preface everything I say right here as being very upfront, in the sense that this has nothing to do with what I think Deshaun Watson deserves. And the way I felt and reacted and my thoughts has nothing to do with if I think he's a good person, if I think he did these things. I've done podcasts, especially the one I did with Blake Weiner on Monday on our YouTube, if you want to check that out, where I really got into rather I think he's guilty or innocent or what the evidence says or any of that. So I preface this by saying, based on the documents I read, I think 6 is light because of what the accusations and what they found based on a preponderance of evidence, which is a civil litigation standard, that they found that he did. 6 doesn't match up with what they say they proved. It doesn't. But it does match up with the way the policy is written and with legal precedent. That doesn't make it right. It doesn't. And that is reality. And I knew that going into this, that he was going to get suspended and it was probably going to be significant. The reason I'm really upset about the appeal was this thing, I just thought it was going to be over. I thought we were going to know by now. I even said a couple of weeks ago that, I didn't care if he was suspended for 17 games if you would just fucking tell me already. You know this, Ed. We've had this conversation many a times offline. I just want to know. And I think for me, it was like, okay, we have clarity. Things are good. And selfishly, as a football fan, I thought only of the football team. And I went, all right, we're good to go. This is a playoff team. Let's roll. And then it was pulled away. And then I got angry at the situation. Not angry at the NFL. I'm not really not. I mean, and I know Ed may be, and I will, you have all the time to rebuttal here in just a second, because I'm almost there, I think. I'm not angry at the NFL. I am angry that we have this charade of a process that just wasted time, because now we've got this evidence that in June, the NFL knew. In June, the NFL knew they weren't getting a year. Or allegedly, I'm sorry, we don't know for sure. This is stuff that's being leaked. That they knew in June they weren't getting a year, that they knew at that time they were going to appeal it and they were going to push it for more or up to the year if they didn't find a settlement, because they're trying to, and it sounds like it's not about women, it's about keeping him out of Houston and the optics. That sounds like part of why they're pushing for it, which is it just proves that, none of it is anybody caring about victims, which is the honest to God, when you break it down, is the most fucked up part. And it's messed up on my part, because when the 6 games came out, I was excited for my football team. And I don't think that was bad that I was excited for my football team, but I do think a part of me ignored the real issue here, and that was kind of bad, and I should not have done that. But it sounds like, they knew they were going to do this, and you just wasted weeks and weeks and resources and time and all of this stuff, and it's just like, can we stop playing games? We get it. You care about optics and money, so just do what you're going to do and get there. I get it. The independent arbitrator was brought in to find guilt, and she did that. So she still did do her job. But my point is, the process did not need to take this amount of time. And because of that, I was angry at the Browns for even being in this spot. I get it. You made the ultimate business decision. Ultimate. Because this is a great business decision in terms of winning football games, right? It is. Whenever he plays, it is a great football decision. But the non-business side of it is an awful decision. It was, because you don't have any way to definitively prove that he's innocent. If you could have, then it wouldn't have been a bad decision off the field. But he's not. I do not think he is definitively innocent. And even if he was, you don't have the ability to prove that. So that is where you were at, right? So that is the business side of it. That is all of this shit. And I'm just looking at it and I'm just like, I just didn't think that after everything we've been through, it could get worse. And I think that's where I really hit rock bottom, was as a Browns fan. I thought we had seen it all, and we just hadn't. And I'll give you can, I know you've got stuff to say, and I got some other stuff about it as well, but that's the big thing I needed out there.
Well, great points, Jake. I mean, I'm not trying to undermine anything that you said. I really don't disagree with anything you said. Here's my point. I am mad at the NFL, and here's the reason why. Not for, obviously Deshaun Watson is the one that got himself in this situation. Okay, yep. Unadol, he went and did these things, and you got to deal with what comes with it. But here's why I'm mad at the NFL. You set up this process. You appoint a female judge. The female judge then rules. And then this is about women, and I get that. And then you basically telling the world that you don't care what a woman has to say, and that's kind of where I'm at. So maybe this this new guy, this Harvey guy that they got looking at this appeals case, maybe they should have, I don't know, appointed another woman. That would have made sense to me. I mean, I don't know. There's things in the NFL, they get paid billions and billions of dollars. But does anybody actually go to, like, I don't know, PR 101 marketing school? Because they make a lot of, for a $1 billion industry, they make a lot of interesting choices when it comes to how they run their business.
You heard Ken Carman the other day, right? About these teams of lawyers that you got these teams of lawyers and you can't figure out the right way to do this and stuff. What you just said reminds me of that. And it's like, and if you guys haven't, I'm sure we can find it and dig it up, but the sound from Ken Carman earlier in the week, but also from Doug Lesmerises. Was that yesterday that Doug Lesmerises was and he said something along the lines, he was talking about all of the other fan bases attacking Browns fans for being fans of their football team and basically telling them to stop. And I think that's what's gotten to me on that side most, is that for me, it's like, and people will say, well, you wouldn't be supporting Watson or you wouldn't be sticking up for him or anything like that, which I don't think I stick up for him off the field. I don't think I've ever done that. If someone thinks I have, then you misunderstand me, because I've tried to compartmentalize this and just do my job and talk about football. And when it was time to be real about the allegations, I think I've been pretty real, as real as I can be. Because I just don't know the facts. Even reading that document, you don't know what the evidence she is referring to is. And me and Blake talked about that. Whereas like we don't really know, because the NFL's evidence that they presented to her was a 215-page document, and we don't know what that was. We don't have access to that. Maybe someday, but you get what I'm saying. But it's like. It felt like that the process was a joke. It does. The way you were talking about it, I get it. I get it. But it's like, we're just trying to be, you have this big process. You kind of make a joke about it, but back to the point about the fandom, I got twisted. I'm sorry. I got a little twisted there.
These are the dog days of summer. So it's okay.
Oh my goodness. It's just been a week. That's why this episode is called What a Week. But Doug Lesmerises was talking about it. And it's just like, I'm not supporting Watson, the player or the person, and not even really the player, because it makes me feel kind of weird, but I'm supporting the Cleveland Browns, the team, and Deshaun Watson's not taking that from me. He's not. He's never taking the Cleveland Browns from me. And you should not feel bad for supporting the Cleveland Browns because of a particular player that was brought in. Now, if you support Deshaun Watson and you blindly support him in terms of saying, oh, these women are lying and stuff like that, and you're not open to the facts and the logic, okay, I can understand someone shaming you for that. But that's your decision. Whatever. I think it's a stupid decision, but you get what I'm saying. But for being a fan,
still watch the show though. You maybe still look. We love all forms of intelligence. So even if you are deemed stupid, please watch the Barking Browns. With the Browns. Network 216 will still have.
Please subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
But no. That's not what I mean. I think you're just kind of being naive if you're doing it just because he's on your football team. I think if you're ignoring facts and information and stuff like that. But I was a Browns, like, this is one of the things that really bonded my father and I. Like, and so it will always, no matter what, for the rest of my life, hold a special place in my heart. And when this happened, it just really came full circle back to kind of the way I felt when he was first acquired. And that was that somebody was trying to shame me for not giving up something because of a decision that I didn't make.
Right.
Go watch our podcast from that would have been, he was traded on a Friday, right?
Friday,
Was that when?
Yep.
So our show would have been 3 days prior to that, we would have had our regular show, and Ken Carman had been on TV the night before talking about this was before they had been ruled out and then eventually got him. And Ken Carman had talked about raising sons not to be pigs. That's paraphrasing, but that was what he was talking about. And we mentioned that quote and we agreed with it. Like the three of us sat here and we're like, I think that's where we are too, so to speak, like just from that standpoint. And guys, I see all the great comments in the questions and some things over there, and we're definitely going to get to those here in just a second. And I said that, so it was like I was not in favor. I did not go out there and say, he's innocent, get him in here, and anything like that. I have shared on my Twitter and commented and retweeted both sides of the story. I have retweeted people that are wanting to throw the book at him. I have I haven't retweeted people that were being like naive or anything like that, but I've retweeted like people that were giving you reasons they thought he was guilty and reasons you thought he was innocent. That's probably the better way. And I was trying, and I've shared and I've read these documents and I've watched these podcasts and I've done all of this stuff to try to give you all the information and be impartial with who the person is, because I don't know how to deal with that. Because I don't know how to deal with a sports team, a team that, albeit loses a lot, so they don't really bring me a lot of joy, but they bring me so much joy. Getting so real. Like sports is a distraction from real life. And because sports can generate so much money, people don't really care about the character of people on the team if that person can make them money. That's reality. That is why people like, Deshaun Watson are still in the league while they're figuring things out with him, right? Like, because things aren't set in stone. I realize that, most of the cases are gone and things like that, but that's why people don't question, like Michael Vick gets out of prison. We have video evidence of Vick being one of the worst human beings. Like the things that you have seen Michael Vick do, he is a very, very dark person. Like to be able to do those things in your head, he gets out of prison. And remind me if this is wrong, if I'm wrong about this, Ed, but it did not take him long to sign. Now he signed as a backup.
That's right. That's
correct. He signed in Philly as Donovan McNabb's backup and would later sign a 6-year, $100 million deal in Philly. But they knew he could make money and sell tickets, so they immediately were like, he served his time. Just because someone has served his time, do you know what the recidivism rate is in America? It's really high. So just because somebody has gone to prison and come back out does not mean they're reformed. But there wasn't really a question there, right? Because he can make money. And if you are in another fan base and you're trying to sit on your high morality horse and look down on everybody else because your team didn't do this, go look at your history, because I bet they've done it before. And I get it. Watson's is in terms of like the pure volume of accusation, and of predatory behavior, all that, all this stuff. I get it. It's pretty unique. But like Ray Lewis, he misled the investigation in that murder trial. Misled the investigation. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? So it's like all any NFL team cares about is winning and making money. So do not come at me because the Browns made a business decision that your team might have even tried to make, especially if you're in New Orleans or Atlanta or any of these 15 teams that wanted Watson. You just got lucky that the Browns offered more money and a better draft pick selection and that he picked them. Because if he picked him in Atlanta, you'd be in the same boat we are. And it's just, to me, I just think it's outrageous that I tweeted today about Dearness Johnson. Tweeted about Dearness Johnson and boom, Deshaun Watson. That's all that matters. Predator. He's a sexual predator. You support sexual assault. And that tweet had nothing to do with him, let alone supporting him or his behavior. And the guy said, all that matters is the quarterback because he's there. He said, do you think these other teammates are happy to be in there with him? You think it's all hunky-dory? That's funny. When did I say anything? Watson, I did not mention it. Like, do not come at me because I want to support my team. Because I'm going to tell you what, if you support the NFL, you support situations like this. Because the NFL is as big as it is, because winning results in the amount of money it does, if a guy is not banned from the league, your team could go after him. You just got lucky that the one time that he was available, maybe your team has a good quarterback. Maybe you have Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers and all that stuff. So you were like, dodge that bullet because we don't have to worry about it. I don't support Watson the person. Maybe he can, and I said this in the other day, I pray to God he can reform himself. I think he should get a massive suspension, or I'm not sorry. I do think the suspension, but a minimum, a massive fine that goes to sexual assault charities. Do that. Fine him 10 million, fine him 15 million. He has plenty of money coming down the way this year alone, and give it to sexual assault charities. Require him to go through treatment. Require him to admit some level of remorse if that is what you need. And I respect that and I understand that. Go for it. But stop coming at me for wanting to still cheer for my football team. I don't have a Watson jersey on. I don't. I'm not going to judge the people that do because I don't know their lives. But I have talked to some people privately that have talked about some of the situations where he is a good person. I don't know that he is a good person overall. He puts himself in a lot of really shady situations. But maybe someday he can move past this and grow from it. I don't know if he can. I really don't. But I guess why I got so...
Is that our job, Jacob? Is that our job as fans?
No, it's not.
Thank you.
It's not. It's not our job. It's not our... And I just always come back to it's not our fault.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I refuse to let this team be taken from me. This team that I met Ed. You know, I wouldn't know Ed without this team. I wouldn't know Nick or Andy or Roger or Ross. I wouldn't know Jeff or MC Lawrence or Josh the Catholic, who is going to training camp next week because he won tickets with Network 216. I wouldn't know these people. And I'm not giving that up. I'm not giving that up because some billionaire traded for some millionaire that they'll never even know my name. They'll never know my name or who I am. So I'm not giving that up. So guys, real quick, I'll let Ed respond and we're going to get to the comments. We're going to get caught up. But if you are watching right now, we are doing a hat giveaway here at the end of the show. You must be following the channel to be entered. If you subscribe to the channel, you will get a second entry. And also our subscribers get exclusive giveaways on Network 216 every month, every couple times a month. We do giveaways, free training camp tickets, things like that. We're doing giveaways. If you are subscribed to the channel, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for a month for free to the channel. We really greatly appreciate it. Ed, please take it away with your rebuttal, and then we will have a word from our sponsor.
Well, this is Ed in Columbus with your Barking Browns breaking news. The Cleveland Browns got Deshaun Watson, and maybe it's karma because Pittsburgh Steelers fans can't unrelentlessly come after us. Maybe it is karma. Maybe it isn't. I didn't do it. You didn't do it. Let's move on. Catch the Barking Browns Tuesdays at 8 o'clock, but Down with the Browns Mondays at 7:30. This is Ed in Columbus with your Down with the Browns breaking news.
I appreciate it, Ed.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Zach says he'll subscribe if he can have your hat.
Which one does he want? I got hats.
He says the one on your head.
Oh, okay, I got this one. I know, but I like this one. He's got this one. This one's from Mitchell. So remember Mitch Metz? Shout out to Mitch. He got me this one.
He said he's up at the airport. He's up at the airport.
Go guards. You know, I got hats. You can't have this one, but I got this white. This one's nice.
I do like that really white one.
We'll get you a nice. You know what? Honestly, you know what? You want a nice new one. So whoever wins is gonna get a nice one.
I want to tell you about the easiest way to get some action on the NFL, and it's Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. Just pick over or under on your favorite or your least favorite players' stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. For example, I haven't been able to do underdogs over-under Pick'em on NFL, but I've done it a few times on baseball. And it'll give you, like, say that Shane Bieber is pitching, and it'll say over under 4.5 strikeouts. So you over under, you pick. Here we go. Pick between 2 and 5 players to fill out your pick 'em slip. Get every pick right. Take home some cold hard cash. If you use our code 216 when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy and their How Did You Hear About Us box, you will get your first deposit doubled up to $100 by Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code 216. And so you pick them. You do, Nick Chubb. They'll set the line. They'll set the over under. Say Nick Chubb's over under is 75.5 rushing yards. I'm going to hammer that over almost every week. Going to hammer that, and then I'm going to say Mitchell Trubisky or any Steelers quarterback will have under 1.5 touchdowns. Okay, yeah, that feels like a safe bet pretty well all week. So we're going to all year we'll sign that up on here right there. Mitchell, any Steelers quarterback will have over 1.5 interceptions. I'm going to check that box here.
And if Kenny Pickett's playing, how many fumbles? At least one.
Yeah, fumbles. Kenny Pickett will have over 4.5 fumbles today.
I'm taking that one.
You get all of those right, bam, multiply your cash money. All right, guys, I have gotten, I think, what I needed off of my chest. Ed, do you have any more on this that you need off your chest, or should we jump into the comments?
I want some comments. I want some fun.
All right, let's get in the comments, and then I've got a really fun game, and we also need to talk about the player the Browns just signed. So we will get to that in just a second. So let's get over here. Okay. Mr. Katopka, who was the winner of our first set of, training camp tickets. He was at training camp. Was that today? Yes, today. He went to training camp today, but it got shortened because of rain. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. He says, while I never had 20 plus charges filed against me, I can confirm I did some pretty stupid, life-altering things in my 20s and had been caught. And I'm glad I've matured. I believe that folks can change for the better, and a second chance should be, I can read the rest of it. It just wouldn't show up on the second chances should be given in certain circumstances. It's really interesting when we talk about second chances just because of the sheer volume of times this may or may not have likely happened in Watson's situation. But yeah, I mean, sometimes getting caught is the only reason anybody stops anything. I mean, that's not right, but that is reality. Okay. Drew in the Brick House says, how do people believe that the Texans provided the hotel and NDAs knowing that Deshaun Watson was committing sexual assault? It's unbelievable. Hold on.
It is unbelievable.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't read. The whole comment on the Texans, this is what I think would be really aggravating is if the NFL doesn't do anything to the Texans. Because there's evidence that they had an idea. I mean, the NDA is right there. They knew, they at least had some inkling. They might not have been in the room. The women might not have directly reported the crimes to them. They may have. I don't know. I don't know all the accusations because that stuff got settled pretty quickly. But if you're sitting in a situation like this where they did this giant investigation against Watson, and had this giant hearing and process, and they're going to punish him. I mean, especially after Stephen Ross, he gets tampering charges, loses a first and a third round pick. Also, don't think we don't realize you put out that punishment right before the appeal for Watson to try to make it look like you do things to owners. Because I'm going to remind you that $1.5 million from Stephen Ross isn't even 0.5% of his fucking net worth. So don't even try to act like you actually punished an owner. That was purely on optics.
Jacob, my question is this. Now, I know the NFL appealed it because they don't think 6 games is enough, and they do. I hear that they want a hefty fine. But when he does get fined, do we know exactly where the money goes then?
That's interesting. I had heard one time that when they're fined during the year, that it did go to like the NFL community fund or something. This has been a long time ago.
Okay.
So I don't know that it's still like this, but I know that a long time ago that it would go to like the NFL's giant, like Make-A-Wish or something.
Okay.
The NFL had some sort of charity that was where the money went. Okay. I do not know if that is still true. The only reason I know this is true is because of something Chad Ochocinco did one time when he was And that tells you how long ago my information is. So I don't know. But it should go. That's what it should be, especially because in this case, like if a guy gets fined for domestic violence, it needs to go to domestic violence charities. Like that's what it needs to be. Because if you're the NFL and you're trying to prove that you're about doing what's right, that is what's right. Not to pocket a $1.5 million fine, not to pocket $10 million or whatever it is. Like, and here's the thing. If you really think Watson deserves this heavy discipline, and you want the discipline to make him realize that he was wrong and make him think twice in the future, hitting his wallet's going to do that more. Now, he should be suspended. Suspend him. But you want the girth of that punishment, in my mind. If you want it to, but if you want it to like get his attention, that's where I think it needs to be.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, and Jeff says, as Browns fans, we should not have to deal with this. And it's some of the way things go that I think that it's really bad. Drew in the Brick City, can we hire that Minzy dude to sue Jimmy? Well,
he'll make him pay.
Jeff, my dad died 2 years ago, and one thing we had in common was the Browns, so hey, kiss my ass. I mean, yeah. I mean, I totally understand that. I get MC Lawrence's thing. When you're wearing the uniform, I'm rooting for you. When you're not, I may or may not. Yeah. I mean, I get that side of it. And here's Jeff. Josh Cribbs on his Insta Live said, you want to hurt, take his money. I mean, honest to God, I mean, I'm not just saying that because he makes the Browns a better football team. I'm thinking about like, the Browns did not structure his contract because of a suspension, because they do all of their deals this way. But if I'm the NFL, the longer the suspension is, it doesn't hurt him that much more when it somewhat shortens his career, so to speak, because he's not going to play as many games, but it actually might technically extend his career because he's not getting hurt. You know what I mean? It's just like it's semantics right there. But if you really want to hurt, because he's going to make over $40 million this year, regardless of if he takes a snap, right?
How's he ever going to live off that?
You could fine him half, which I don't think he would agree to or anything like that. Or I'm talking because there is a possibility of settlement. That's why I say agree to.
Yeah. Right.
But if you were like, you know what? We're going to take, because what is 20 million of 230? That's almost 10. Yeah, it's almost 10% of his contract. Mm-hmm. We're going to take 10% of your earnings for the next 5 years total, because that's what 20 million would be.
Yeah.
And he would still make 20-some million. But like if you suspend him all year, he's going to sit at home for $45 million. If you want it to send a message to him, the fine makes sense. Now they're going to extend the suspension. I know they are. I don't see a world where it's less than. I don't think 8 is on the table, but it might be if he takes.
Funny, Jacob, about this, but the whole thing is okay. So when the schedule came out, a lot of Browns fans were like, "Oh, the NFL's doing us a favor." You look at the first 4 games, especially, and then I think to myself, if they were gonna, say, we said 6 to 8 games, why did they make that Texans game so late in the season? It would have been almost beneficial for us if that would have been one of the first earlier games. Because if they're only worried about, him going back to Houston and everything, then it just seems like, well, why did you schedule it so late in the season? Then, unless you wanted to make it a year suspension, anyways.
That's the weirdest part, is that they had all these settlement talks because they knew that Judge Robinson was going to go in much lower than what they wanted. And in all these settlements, they wouldn't budge off of 12 because game 12 is when they play Houston, and it's in Houston, and they don't want him to go to Houston. And I get that, because if I was him, I wouldn't want to go to Houston. Like, I just wouldn't. You do not know. Like, it might not be safe for him down there. Justifiably so, probably. But you get what I'm saying. But it's like, if that's the problem, you knew this months ago.
Right.
Yes. You knew this months ago.
Right.
Why would you? You knew you were going to suspend him when you made the cut. He was a Brown when you made the schedule. If that was going to weigh so heavily on your mind, make that week 1. Like,
Right.
Because then no matter what, as long as the judge finds a violation like she did,
Then
and
you're going
she
to suspend him
did
at
too,
least. Yeah, the first
she's
game he's
going,
out
yeah,
anyways.
the first game he's 100% going to be suspended in that scenario.
Yeah, and
it's
basically
like,
all scenarios possible. Let's be
Yeah.
real. He was going to be suspended at least
Yeah.
4 games because
Yeah.
of the whole Ben thing. We knew 4 games, at least 4 games.
Well, we thought I thought at least 6 because that's what Ben originally got. So like I thought,
that's fair. Okay, and then it would have been
because he appealed it down to 4.
down to 4 games. Yeah, that's correct.
But so like you knew in that situation, he's definitely not going to Houston if you put it that far. So if that was such a big deal, then why the hell was that ever in question? Like, I don't know.
Once again, the NFL running these smart people running these billion-dollar industries. I don't get it. Common sense, and
it's just like I deal with some really smart people at work, in other areas of the university, and because they're not experienced in my field, they'll be like, "Oh, we can do this, right?" And it's like, no, it doesn't really work like that. And then they'll be like, but when you tell them that, they're smart people, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, how does it work? You're the one who is an expert in this area." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, well, you're the one who's experienced this area." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, this is how I would do it." And they would listen to you. The NFL doesn't do that.
They don't listen, right? That's
fair. They do the dumb thing and they just run with it. But I don't know, man. I feel a lot better though getting this off my chest, and I am going to write a story this evening called "Can the Cleveland Browns defense win football games?" Because guess what? That's where we're at here.
Yeah.
We're at the time where it's time to talk about football. They are going to be playing a preseason game at this time in 7 days. We're going to be playing something. I just want to know, like, that's where I'm at. Just let me know. Just let me know where we're at so that I understand where we're, where we're at, right?
I heard something like this. Is it true, Jacob, that we're going to get a decision next week, maybe, possibly? Or is that I saw something, I wasn't quite sure, but is that what the NFL's hoping timetable wise?
So the process must be expedited.
Okay.
That is what the what you call it? Contract. That's what the CBA does. It says that under this new situation that the appeal process must be expedited, which is why the NFLPA had to issue their statement today, which they have, and that statement is just their response to the NFL appealing it, and that went to what's the new guy's name?
Harvey. That's
Harvey. Yep. So that went to him so that he could look at the NFL's reason for appeal and the response from the NFLPA as to why the original decision should be upheld, and he will decide. From everything that it seems to be, they say expedited. I have not seen anybody think it will go past Friday of next week, but I've seen a lot of people think Monday or Tuesday.
Really?
I've heard that if for some reason it ends in a settlement, that it could be this weekend. If that's how it ends, and that's not saying that people think it will be settled, but
right.
if it's
just settled, if it would be, that would make sense. Before a ruling would come down, you'd settle it.
If we get to like Monday and it hasn't been settled, then it's not it's not ending in settlement. That's just based on what I've read and my understanding. I don't have any inside knowledge to that, but a lot of people seem to believe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere in there, early next week is where they'll be. Just because it does specifically say expedited, but it doesn't give you a timetable.
Yeah.
The part that bothers me, that worries me, is if he were to sue. And a lot of people say he doesn't have the grounds to sue. I've seen some legal analysts say they don't. I saw Daniel Wallach talking about how he does and all of that stuff. I don't know if they would ever win a federal court case.
No, but you can always, in America, you can always sue.
You can always sue. A lot of people that have no chance at winning.
No chance. Yeah, right.
So I don't know that he would win. I really don't think he would.
I don't
it's just because
what are they 0 for 52? The NFL Players Association.
I don't.
There was some number I saw. It was almost as hard to overcome as the Cavs overcoming a 3-1 deficit. Now they got that job done. but I don't think Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it would be in that same situation where it was over 32 or something like that. But yeah, the process is supposed to be expedited, so that's why a lot of people think early next week. And for some people that think that next Friday isn't expedited for the NFL, it sure as hell is.
Oh, absolutely. They've been doing the last 2 months, Jacob. We've been talking about this. What do they do? Here's what I don't understand. You got these, these billionaires, millionaires, or whatever like that. They're at Park Avenue in New York. Okay, nothing's really changed in the Deshaun Watson from like June 4th or whatever till about now, whatever the case may be. What are they doing? I never understand. What are they doing? I go to work. I work. You go to work. You work. We do stuff. We make shows. We do stuff. What do they do? What do they do?
I let it sit on their desk for a couple of weeks and they open it up.
All right. They got to get the dust off it first and then
yeah. I don't know. But that's what I worry about is that it goes to court because then that drags out. All right, guys, we want to talk about, so the Browns signed USFL Defensive Player of the Year, Chris Odom. Defensive end, had 12 and a half sacks for, was he in Tampa? No. Was he in Tampa?
Or was he a gambler? Either
he was a gambler.
Yeah, because shout out to Jessica, Day One Dog. She was the only one to take out my Birmingham Stallions and our USFL Day One Dogs, and yeah, I think he led the league. She was happy. I saw it in the chat. So yeah, Jessica.
12 and a half sacks.
Yes.
Yeah, 12 and a half sacks. I learned Myles Garrett's high school teammate.
Oh,
how about that? So you're adding Chris Odom to the rotation. That gets really interesting because I like some of the young guys' potential in that room. And like it gets even more interesting with Chris Odom. Like he wasn't able to make it in the NFL, but I mean, you're able to
motor on him. He's got a motor on him.
Yeah. And I mean, you got 12 and a half sacks and you're not coming in there to be a starter or you're a depth rotational piece for the Browns. And that is a very intriguing, like when you sign guys in August, unless it's like a blockbuster trade, there's not a lot of guys that you could trade for or sign just off the streets in August, unless like OBJ is an interesting one because he's rehabbing. So when he is healthy, he'll be an interesting signing, and people are just not sure when he's going to be healthy because he tears the ACL in the Super Bowl. But like any regular player that you could pull off the street right now is just probably just camp bodies. Chris Odom, I wouldn't call him just a camp body because he just got done doing 12 and a half sacks in a professional league. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a bunch of guys, none of them will ever play in the NFL. Some of them already have, just weren't successful and able to stay in the NFL, but you're able to get 12 and a half sacks. You at least are intriguing enough to sign and play 3 preseason games and show me something. Maybe he goes out there and he just keeps it rolling, right? Like he just keeps it rolling. I don't know, man. Like this defensive end room, I know there's not a lot of proven commodities outside of Miles and Clowney, and that's where some people get the knocks. But I'm the number one fan of the Alex Wright fan club. And
yes, you are. I
was the only one with an Alex Wright jersey at training camp on Saturday. But you best believe come Tuesday, I'll have an Alex Wright jersey on again. So you best believe if you guys are there Tuesday, please send me a DM at Roachism13 on Twitter. We'll say hi. We'll give some high fives, maybe have a beer or something. I don't know, dude. We'll get weird. Remember when I said that we were going to get weird over the weekend? I told you guys that last week. We did get weird over the weekend. We got pretty weird. What? But yeah, no, man, I don't think of any other guy that's ever been signed in August, unless it was just some wild situation that I ever went, okay, it's like, he's not going to be the reason you win a Super Bowl. Like, I'm not being dumb, but like, he can make the team and get you 5-6 sacks off the bench.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think this defensive line, we always talk about it, and it's all, they got Myles Garrett and they got David Clowney and they got some pieces that, Perrion Winfrey, but they're all unproven. A lot of them unproven, or a lot of guys that underperformed and what, with even
like in Chris Odom's case, yeah.
And the same with him. So it's going to be fun. I think you got a bunch of hungry guys. And with this defense, the 4-2-5, you just need to keep rotating. And if they keep going after the quarterback like they do, hey, go kill the quarterback. Okay, sure thing. Go do it. And with a high motor, I think it's going to be fun to watch. It'll be fun.
I'm very excited. MC Lawrence says, Jimmy G. Well, MC, I'm here to tell you, there's just one person that can save the day. Is that sexy ass Italian stallion.
Oh, I was going to say I wasn't Italian, Jacob, but I would save the day if possible, if I was asked.
You would. He, the Italian stallion. Did I tell you that the biggest reason my wife was upset that we got Watson was because that meant we were not getting Jimmy Garoppolo, and she didn't get to watch him stand next to Kevin Stefanski on the screen on Sundays. I respect it. If somebody, if Jimmy Garoppolo tried to steal my wife, I'd understand.
I'd go on a date with him. I
would. Yeah, absolutely go on a date with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bring it. Listen, if Watson gets the year, I maybe they won't, and a lot of people think they won't go after a guy, but I would prefer to get Jimmy Garoppolo and people say, well, Garoppolo is just a guy that has a bunch of schemed open hits and he just hits them. Well, guess what? Last year we had a bunch of
hit him.
Exactly. That's what we had last year, and our guy couldn't hit him. Because I get it. He's hurt. I get all that shit. I get it.
Don't have him come after me, Jake.
But people are like, well, Garoppolo is just a benefactor of the system. What's the same damn system?
System, thank you.
I'm only doing it if Watson's the whole year.
Season, I'm with you.
Because it's two different styles of offense, and you don't want to try to change the offense in there or anything like that.
For one or the other, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, do not do it. If it's anything less than a year, don't do it. Okay. What's going on over here? Somebody's hitting on us.
So, hey now. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Carnsey. Hey, absolutely.
Hey.
We're missing our third sexy guy.
8-1 guards right now. 8-1 guards.
Oh, wow.
That's what he says. 8-1 guards. He's having a conversation with Jeff over here.
It looks that way. It looks like there's.
He just hold on. Just look at this. Nick says, Jeff, if you'll be up later, I'm going to do a video chat. Ooh. Jeff said, that's sexy. Nick said, you better be up, baby.
I'm not touching that one. One. I will say this. Hey now. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm going to do. Hey now.
All right, guys. We are going to wrap this thing up with Stump Ed. That is right. We are back with Stump Ed. And this time, I do not have Stump Ed trivia. I have Stump Ed. Did I make up this incredible sports fact? So I'm going to take sports facts. We got five sports facts. I'm going to give you the sports fact. Here's the way it's going to work. I'm going to give you the sports fact. I didn't even finish that dinner yet.
Oh, that looks good. What do we having tonight, Jacob?
Oh, we got some chicken. We got some grilled chicken sandwiches and some homemade French fries.
Show the audience here.
Yeah, some homemade chicken sandwiches and French fries. I haven't eaten them all yet because they're kind of messy, and I didn't bring a napkin.
Oh, napkin.
No, I get it. We're almost done. And now I got some home baked chocolate chip cookies here. I'm feeling pretty good, man. I was pretty down in the dumps the last couple of days. I just didn't know how to process
That's
everything.
comfort food right there.
And this is, I feel eternally better right now. So I appreciate you, Mr. Edward, and everybody watching. So let me give you an example, okay? So that you understand. Okay. I'm going to read you this. The fact that I'm going to read you, I'm going to read you. It's going to be true. And I'm going to give you an example of how I may alter it so that you understand that it's
okay.
True.
Fair enough. Okay.
So that you understand how I'm going to do it, and it's going to be true or false, right? So this was written in 2015, where these facts come from. So they may not. If you try to fact check me, it's incorrect.
I'm not going to fact check.
Yeah. No, I just meant people on the podcast.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I'm not going to cheat.
So at this time, Jordan Spieth had won $61,867 less at the Masters than Arnold Palmer did in his entire career.
Wow. Okay.
So what I might say is Jordan Spieth won $40,000 less at the Masters than Arnold Palmer won in his career.
Gotcha.
True or false?
I gotcha.
And in that case, it would have been false because I altered it to go lower or higher, something like that. Okay. So,
I'm going to try to go 0 for 5. I think I got a better shot at 0 for 5, but whatever. We'll see.
It's funny because I'm reading some of these, and I definitely didn't realize it was written in 2015 at first, but now that I'm reading some more of them, So, okay. This is in 2015 again.
Okay.
if 3-time Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw were to break Cy Young's record of 511 wins, he'd need to stay at his current pace for the next 41 years until he was 68.
Well, I know Kershaw always gets hurt, and I know I'll say that, and he does.
But he wins a lot of games.
I'm gonna say true.
It is. That is true. Yeah.
Wow.
Is that crazy though?
Cy Young was a former Cleveland baseball player back in the day. Played for Cleveland.
Cy Young was a monster.
Yes.
Like a freaking monster.
Got one. I feel good. I'm feeling good, Jacob. I'm feeling good here.
Okay. Wilt Chamberlain's 50.4 points per game season, right?
Okay.
Is 21% better. I'm sorry, 21.3% better than the next highest scoring average in history. To put that in his perspective, someone breaking Tony Gwynn's record for batting average in the last 70 years would have to hit .518 to match that 21.3% difference. So Wilt had a season in which and this was in 2015, in terms of the NBA.
Right.
Wilt averaged 50.4 points per game in a season, which is 21.3% better than the next highest scoring average in NBA history.
So 1/5 of 50 would be 10. And so basically minus 10, that'd be 40 that you'd be averaging. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to say true.
That is false. It is actually 31.6% better.
I can't. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, I read that and I was like, I tried to reread it a couple of times and I was like, there's no way. And I'm like, well, then.
Well, maybe it makes sense because if you add another 10%, then your average people, because even Jordan, averaging say, I was thinking more about 25, but 30. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are 25 minutes of actual action in a baseball game.
Oh, jeez.
I would assume they mean nine innings.
Yeah. True or false? I got a lot of people around me who would say that's definitely false because it's lower. But let's see here. Actual action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say true.
No, it's 18. It's lower.
Oh, you know what? Honestly, you know what's so funny about that? I was gonna say 15 to 20. If I was gonna say false, I was gonna say 15 to 20. I was trying to give it credit.
You looked away from the screen, and I made a face trying to tell you, like, you should listen to those people.
I'm trying to give the game credit.
So,
People to watch.
So you got one right, two wrong. We got two more. Let's see if you can.
1 out of 3. It's still 33%. That's a Hall of Fame baseball average.
Okay. In 2015, the Philippines has competed in the most Summer Olympics. At that point, they had competed in 20 without winning a gold medal. So the question is, did they or didn't they win a gold medal? That's the part I'm lying about.
Well, I'm a big Olympic fan, and I love our fellow Filipinos out there. Shout out to them and their islands. Well, you know what? I'm going to say false.
No, it's true. Yep.
Well, I apologize to the Philippines.
As of 2015, they had not won a gold medal in the Olympics.
Wow.
And that was 20 Summer Olympics.
I would have thought maybe they got one in boxing because I think Manny Pacquiao's from the Philippines or something. So I don't.
Babe Ruth only won 4 World Series in 15 years with the Yankees. It's funny because I read that and I'm like, I would have no idea because about Babe Ruth being a Yankee, but I don't know that I know how many championships.
I know World Series. I know they won them.
Because they have a bunch.
I know it's going to be wrong, but I just want to just say it. False.
No, it's true. He only won 4.
I knew it was. I purposely did that. I knew the answer was true because I said false. I knew that.
Yeah, he only.
I almost knew it and wanted to be wrong on purpose because I.
Yeah, he only ever won
Only 4. And how many? It's funny we say only 4.
15
Like Cleveland Guardians have only.
Oh my God! If we had 4 championships in 15 years, are you
Yeah, I
shitting me?
know.
It's just he's like the legend that you hear about growing up. Like when you learn about the history of the game, Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, those are the people that you hear all about. Yogi Berra, those are the guys that you hear about. So they just seem like, just like when you think about it, when you think about Tom Brady's 7
I was going to mention Tom Brady. I was just going to
mention how many years. Yeah. Somewhere down the road, someone might be like, "Oh, that's not much," but that's a good lot.
Considering there's only been 56 Super Bowls, whatever it's been, and he
has 7 of them. Yeah. There's been 50 some, and he got 7 of them in his 22 years.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
All right, guys, stay tuned on the network. 30 minutes from now.
Are we doing the hat giveaway?
Great. Oh my God. We got a hat to give away.
Jacob, I'm glad Jacob, to the audience out there and all our listeners and all our watchers, I want to say Jacob's feeling really good that he forgot that. So that we know we're doing good. Okay.
Let's get it on here. I've got the list here. I always get my list pre-prepared, and then I just have to add to my list if more people subscribe.
No, Jeff, Jacob was not trying to rob us. Laugh out loud.
Oh, there we go.
And I have been giving respect to the Philippine athletic community. So thank you for that Super Surge MC. Thank you. MC Lawrence says Mrs. Roach is awesome. She is awesome. She brought you that great food and a napkin. I saw you got a napkin.
I do have a napkin, yeah, because the sauce was getting on my face. And would you look at that? Jeff, I wasn't trying to rob you because you have won.
Jeff is a winner!
Jeff, my friend, please, in fact, please let me know. Go to fanatics.com. Tell me what hat you want, and maybe I'll buy myself one too. Guys, we really, really appreciate you. If you hang around for the Grant P and Matty G betting show tonight, 9:30 here on the network, we got lots of great stuff coming up this weekend. There might be some shows going on. I don't know if we have any special episodes, but next Monday, the Down with the Browns will be back. The first episode of the Ohio State Buckeyes show is coming at you. I believe that's before Down with the Browns, right? So they're on at 6:30 to 7:30, Down with the Browns. Tyler Johnson and some buddies of his going to put on the Ohio State show right there at the beginning, 6:30 to 7:30 on Monday. 7:30 to 8:30, we do have Down with the Browns, and Matty G and Grant P will have their betting show every day of the week, set 9:30 p.m. Sometimes they're off, sometimes they're not. Follow to the YouTube, Network 216 over there. We do daily shorts. We haven't done one the last couple of days, just some stuff going on, but we will have one back. Daily shows plus replays of all the things that are here on Twitch. Please consider following the Twitch, subscribing to the Twitch, using our promo code 216 when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy and all those great things that help support us. Your subscription to this channel enters you into exclusive giveaways, as well as doubling your chance for the follower giveaways, as well as ad-free and also I'll give you a kiss on the cheek in public if you subscribe to the channel.
I didn't get one on Saturday from you.
I just made that up. That's a new perk.
Oh.
That's a new perk. I'll give you a kiss.
I feel slighted. Can we retroactively the next time I see you, can I get one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't have an expiration date.
Oh, and I'll let you go on the date with Jimmy G and I, so it could be.
Oh, well, now.
Hey.
Now we're fucking talking. Guys, we will be back again on Tuesday, 8 p.m. We appreciate all of you guys for everything, for jumping in here with the therapy, the laughs, a lot of ranting, and some stuff about Chris Odom, some me eating, Ed dancing, Nick flirting with Jeff in the comments, all the stuff that happened here tonight. We couldn't do it without each and every one of you. The most important thing you give someone every single day is your time. We thank you again for giving some of yours to us. We are eternally grateful for everything. A lot of kind words were said to me this week when I broke 1 million views on Dog Pound Daily, but I'm living my absolute dream, and it's because of you guys. So I appreciate all of you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Go Browns.
Go Browns!